One more person rescued from Houston's rising floodwaters. But with more than 6 million people still stranded in the area, emergency crews have their hands full. Tropical Storm Harvey has dumped record amounts of rainfall, up to a meter in some places, and more is on the way.
My biggest concern is still life and safety. We've still got people who are trapped in floodwaters, in homes, and we have to get those people out as soon as possible. This ordeal could go on for another couple of days, and there are areas that haven't flooded that, depending on where the rains come, could be flooded tomorrow or the next day.
Food and water are in scarce supply, and fuel prices have shot up. And the storms brewed up economic shocks that are being felt far beyond Texas or the United States. Nearly 2,000 flights and all rail shipments have been cancelled. A quarter of the oil and gas production in the Gulf of Mexico has stalled, and a tenth of all US refineries have closed. The storm could last until Wednesday, and authorities warn it could take weeks to get the area's people back on their feet.
Underneath the President's disaster declaration, we have turned on what we call individual assistance programs. We're expecting, based on this event, over 450,000 potential registers of disaster victims. That is a huge number, but we are ready to go to process.
The National Weather Service says the floodwaters will recede, but slowly, so it could be a while before America's energy hub rises out of troubled waters. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
And TRT World's John Brain is in Galveston, Texas, with more on the damage caused by the storm and what it means for oil supplies in the region.
Well, Texas, of course, is one of the key centres for oil and gas production, not just in the United States, but across the world. And it's been hit hard by Hurricane Harvey and the accompanying tropical storm. Daily, you'd expect 2 million barrels of refined oil to be produced here. At the moment, a quarter of that capacity is offline. More than 500,000 barrels are not being produced. As a result, gas prices at the pumps are surging. Now, the big problem will be what damage is there to the infrastructure. The industry will be able to cope with these losses in the short term, but if there's serious damage to the infrastructure, the industry itself, that will be far more problematic. And of course, until this crisis is over, no one will be able to ascertain the scale of the damage. So at the moment, of course, all that the priority is on saving human lives. Once this immediate crisis is over, the businesses will be able to go back into their plants and assess what the situation is. There's still a long way to go.
Energy and geopolitics expert Ellen Wald joins me now from Jacksonville, Florida. Ellen, thank you for coming on the program. We're seeing a spike in the price of petrol. Oil production has been affected. What type of numbers can we expect to see in terms of losses, or is it still just too soon to tell?
It's really still too early to tell. In fact, we are getting reports that some refineries in the Corpus Christi area are actually planning to restart soon, but the ones in the Houston area, it could be quite some time before they can restart. Another issue that we're going to be seeing in the short and medium term is that some companies in southern Texas are suspending or reducing their fracking operations because both because of the rain and also because there are no refineries for them to send their oil to. So we could see a spike in gasoline prices that will last for some time.
Ellen, can you just give us a sense of the scale that we're dealing with and just how serious is this?
This is serious, particularly for some of the ports in the area. The Houston shipping channel is one of the biggest in the world, and there could be some somewhat long-term damage. Depends on what kind of silt is dumped into the area and how long it will take to dredge that. So oil imports and exports could be affected for quite some time. We're not looking at effects on the scale of, say, Hurricane Katrina, because unlike at that time, we still have an overall glut of oil. in the United States and also in the world. So supplies aren't tight, so we're not looking at massive spikes, but we are looking at suspension of activities for quite some time.
Can we expect the industry to bounce back in a relatively short period of time?
I think we can. The refineries and the companies are definitely motivated to get things back and running as soon as they possibly can. But some operations will be affected by the floods, and it's going to take a bit of time to understand the extent of that damage. But we should remember that the largest refinery in the United States is located in Port Arthur, which is somewhat away, and as of now is not affected by any of the storm conditions, though they are keeping an eye on it.
That was energy and geopolitics expert Ellen Wald speaking to us from Jacksonville, Florida in the United States.